Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Mad Capper. This is another video on King Arthur Legends Rise. We have gotten a lot done since we last talked. What are we at now? Our game, we're now at like day 7. We're now at day, I don't even know what day. Oh, that's the Knight's Pass. There it is. There's the new day. We're on day 15. So we're 15 days in. I think we got a pretty good setup here. We've bought some stuff. We're going to give you some tips there. We've pulled shards. We've done all that, and great. But there are some things that I had to stumble upon, things that I didn't necessarily understand, or things that I understand that maybe some people won't. And that is my opportunity to let you guys know to take a look. The first thing I want to talk about is the castle. Now, your castle, your kingdom, there's a bunch of upgradable areas. You see right now the castle's being worked on. I think it's really cool that they actually work on it. Aye, get back to work. You've been hammering that same thing for days. Anyway, so when you get this, there's this little icon on the left-hand side. Don't forget to look at it because it's only going to glow. It's only going to red dot if there's an actual upgradable piece. But sometimes these upgrade. Oh, I'm in the middle of an upgrade, so that's a bad example. Let's go to the forge, and we'll click on and it says here, reach castle 11. So it's actually telling you what condition needs to be met and the resources. I need 753,000 steel. That's not going to happen. And 502. I guess we're never getting a level 5 forge because those numbers ain't going to happen anytime soon. But anyway, that's just one example. And I'll tell you why I'm letting you know this is for me. One of the castle to get to level 9, one of the conditions was to just beat an area multiple times in a row. And I hadn't done that. So here I was thinking, well, when am I going to get a chance for anything to be upgraded when it was waiting on me? So there's my first tip is just if you see nothing going on, just check in here, especially the castle. Check what the conditions is. It'll have a little quest thing. It's under construction right now, but normally they'll have a little quest thing and it'll tell you what conditions need to be met for each of the areas, including most importantly the castle, but the forge, the relic forge, all the rest of the stuff that can be upgraded as well. So just keep an eye on that for your upgrades. Right about now is where things are going to start getting really costly, so you're probably not going to be upgrading for a while until you really push and are able to conserve resources to be able to make that happen. Like 700,000, man, I got how much I got? I got 200 of each, and I just got some kind of chest to get even here, which is my tip number 2. I didn't realize this until it was too late. The forge, when you're in 3-4 at the very beginning, if you're making a couple of these just to get a couple of vigor sets, everything looks good. Everything's fine. But when you go to 4-5, there's a sneaky little addition down here. And that's the amount of wood and iron it costs to make these items. And then guess what? When you go to 5-6, it's an even sneakier little 25k and 25k per item. Look at that. It goes up the more you make. So just keep an eye on how much you're crafting here because it's going to take away your iron and wood resources. But that's not the only place. You may go up to the Mage's Tower and think, oh, this Mage's Tower is great. I can just upgrade stuff. Except sometimes, and I'm in the wrong one, if we go over here, look what happens. It requires it here as well. Look at that. Look at it. It's all. So if you're like, oh, I just need a whole bunch of these, and I've got a whole bunch of these, but better make sure you have enough resources of wood and iron to make that happen as well. Miscellaneous materials you can see there and you can see there. So just always keep that in mind. There's a couple I thought there was, and now of course I can't find it for you. I thought there was a couple of areas that required only steel or iron and not wood, or it required a disproportionately higher amount. Of course I can't find that now, so maybe I was dreaming it. But I seem to feel like I was running out of iron more often than wood. So just keep that in mind and keep an eye on that. Also silver. Everything costs, or gold. Everything costs gold. You can farm it directly, but you'll never have enough. So just keep that in mind. Maybe, oh, you know what? Does this cost anything? No, just those. Okay. Um, hmm. Maybe it's when it's upgrading it. Does it cost iron? If we were to upgrade this. No, just okay. Yeah, okay. So I'm just dreaming it. Fever dream. Nonetheless, keep in mind that everything costs these three resources. Everything costs them. So just keep that in mind when you're running through. You may also see I have stamina. Stamina is so hard to come by. Do not do what I'm doing right now. The reason is I actually stopped some runs I was doing in order to make this video. But you want to always never allow your stamina to hit over max. If it's over max, it's because you're doing runs. And then, if you don't have extra pots, I think I still have a few. I have 10 left. So I have 1,000 energy sitting here. But keep that in mind, that stamina is hard to come by. And so you don't ever want to be over here without using that energy. You always want to use until you're under so you're generating stamina. And then you want to check back a few times a day to make sure you're not getting too close to even, and that you can do some runs and do some areas to take care of that. Another thing that you should know is that in the story mode, you have 3 conditions. And if you've played most games, in order to get 3 conditions, there's usually 3 different expectations. Defeat all enemies gets you 1 star. Doing it in 20 turns and everyone surviving, 2nd star. And then meeting a special condition is a 3rd star. You do not have to do these all within the same run. You can do 2 of these in one run and then get the 3rd one in a different run. You can, if you need 2, like there's a couple here that need 2 support heroes that might take you more than 20 turns. Fine. Then turn around after you get the support check off and do it under 20 turns, and that'll get you your 3. That's important because that's when you can do your multi-battles. When it's a 3 here, you can first off do 3 times, which is a multiplier, which means every battle's worth 3, and I can do repeat battles. Also, when you're repeat battling, and this is something I didn't know, you got to pay attention. You can't do this on single battles. You can only do it on repeat battles. You can prioritize them attacking bosses. The only place that this is really right now for me important is in Gorgos because of the team. We're using a dot team, but I also have Bedivere, and when he's hitting really hard, you want those hits to go on the main boss. You don't want to care about the wings and stuff. So just keep in mind that you need to check this to make sure that that you're not wasting time killing ads and stuff that might end up making the fight take too long and you end up dying. So there's a good reminder there. Also, from this screen, you can change relics. And I did not know this, but this is so much easier. There are limited occasions. Now, Bedivere is widely regarded as the hardest hitting single target with his Frost Spec relic. However, there are cases when I'm going up against going up against Frost that I want to get the positive affinity, or I'm going up against the Storm where I don't want the weak affinity. And so I can use this weapon here. And I can do it from there, but it doesn't change the default, because 95% of the time on Bedivere, for example, I'm going to be using his Frost Spec because that relic is his hardest hitting relic. But this one still hits pretty hard, and there's going to be cases when it just makes more sense to come in neutral affinity. Sometimes it's not even about the damage. Sometimes it's about the survivability, because if I'm weak affinity to flame, or in this of Frost, if I'm weak affinity to Storm and the boss is hitting Bedivere and he dies, he does 0 damage when he's dead. So just keep in mind, you didn't necessarily need to know that, but just the fact that you can change these if you can actually pull them extra relics. I was I guess blessed enough to get one of his extra relics. That's as far as I've gone. Now, speaking of relics, this is something I didn't know until day 7. I had no idea about this. Because I'm a dot chaser. So I learned to play this game by chasing the dots. Oh, here's a dot. Hero management. Let's go. Let's see where that dot is. What's going on? There's a dot for Clementine. What do you look at? Oh, look, she's got a relic. What's with your relic? Oh, it's your Frost relic. What's going on? Let's advance it. Well, let's do that. That's how I played this game. That's how I learned this game, is I'm chasing the dots. However, The shard shop never gets dots, and so I knew nothing about the shard shop. The shard shop allows you to exchange these extra shards when you don't need them. Easiest way, hit select all, exclude heroes that have not reached chivalry tier 10, hit OK. In this case, I don't have any, and go over to the relics, do the same thing. Obviously, I only got one. I got Lancelot's. I don't, lucky pull. Though I don't have Lancelot, so how lucky is it? You can do the same thing, select all, exclude unattained relics, and then you can sell them all. As you can see here, I've sold a few, and then you can use them to buy heroes and buy relics here. They're expensive, but I've got 18k. I can at least look for, like, I still can't get enough for legendary, but I'm looking for those very specific rare champion. Mostly it's the frost relics. I'm looking for rare frost relics. What I'm not looking for, and this absolutely drives me, Netmarble, if you're watching this, why is Kay's Storm Relic, which is her default here, first of all, why is it in 2? And also, why is her Storm Relic even in here? What scenario am I buying her Storm Relic? Please tell me under what condition I would ever buy a relic I already have by default. I don't have a choice. I have to have it. If I have her, I have it. So please explain to me why the sweet mother of Jesus, Clarissen's fucking her flame relic. That's her default. Why is that there? Also, just a sidebar, weekly sale should be cheaper, should it not? Why is it the same price? I don't understand that. But whatever. Just thought that's a little rant I wanted to get on. The main thing here is keep an eye for those key relics. From what I've been able to understand, mostly it's Frost Relic for your Storm default heroes that you're really looking for, because there's certain content where you want to be able to use, for example, you want to be able to use Kay. You want to be able to use Sarah. Sarah, beautiful, best healer, maybe in the game, but certainly among rares. But when she's weak sauce, when she's the weak relic, that's a problem. As you can see, haven't been able to get her other relics. Would love to. Can't. Just doesn't want to show up, especially her Frost. But there's a lot of these different champions that you're going to want those Frost relics on. And so just keep an eye every day. I'm trying to think of which other ones are the ones that have Rosier's Frost relic, because then you can use her as a second dot in Gorgid. You know who I'm talking about, the money guy. Because she's weak affinity to fire, obviously Storm, so not very good with her base, but if you can get her Frost, she'll be able to compete much better. I think Kay is the same thing, and Sarah's the same thing. Those are the ones that come to mind. I'm sure there's more. Cormac, maybe. I think, yeah, Cormac, you want his Frost. Definitely you want his Frost. I think his damage is way high up there. So just keep an eye. There's probably others, but definitely you want to be able to have a couple, keep an eye for those rare relics in the relic shard shop. And that's not going to tell you to go there. You just got to know to go there. And my bad for not realizing it. What else do we have? I think, keep an eye on your progression here. When you don't pull these until you get 10, once you get 10, you pull, you're at least guaranteed one rare. I've been lucky enough on all my pulls to get 0 rare non-dupes. I've gotten the default on every one I've pulled, which is ridiculous. I've also gotten a dupe legendary already, which is just silly. But on the flip side, I did get Lancelot's. If I ever pull Lancelot, I have a relic for him. And that might be his default. I didn't even look. Probably it's his default, because that's how that rolls. And also I've gotten the second one for Bedivere, which is actually, I think, is a legitimate good pull. Also, don't pull these until you get 10. There is a guaranteed summoning. So far as I'm to understand, this never changes. So these will always have the guaranteed after summoning X number. So you don't have to worry about that. But the rate up, you do have to worry. And I'm actually saving these for the next banner. But you have to use this guaranteed summoning within the time frame of the banner. It will reset to 60 once the new banner comes out. So just keep an eye on that. And of course, these normal summons are just your freebies. Don't 10 pull these for shards, even though they are cheaper, because you don't guarantee a rare there. Quite often you're going to get nothing but commons and uncommons. So just keep that into mind. Whereas this, obviously, and we'll pull this at the end just for a little fun. We got 10. We might as well. I don't know when I got those 10. I must have completed something to get them. The last thing I want to talk about is if you are a spender, let me give you my quick. Oh, yes, events. Don't forget to check events. There's a lot of stuff going on, and some of it you might just miss. Now, I had missed actually some stuff like clear Master of Death 3 times. I hadn't done it for a while, so I didn't know. But there's resources available to you, freebies available to you for doing these things. So just keep that in mind. For example, right now there's equipment enhancement, so I did all that in respect. I did a major overhaul of some of my champions to try to get them better abilities. Also, crystal consumption. I decided to do some major pulls on the account with my crystals to fill this up, and double dipping, just making sure you're double dipping. Not all of these events are going to be worth it if you're free to play, or if you're low spend, or if you're just really trying to concert your effort on what you are spending on certain things. You may just want to ignore things like the crystal consumption, but try to at least get what you can when you can out of these. It's free resources, and resources are hard to come by. All right, the last thing I want to talk about is if you're going to be a spender. If you're going to be a spender, let me tell you, nothing here is worth it. And they're going to throw everything at you. Oh, look, you just passed a floor. Here's a pack. Pass the floor. Here's a pack. Hey, celebrate. Let's do floor pack, package, pack, carpet, pack, and pack. There's so many packs. Here's the TLDR that I use. Feel free to use the same. First off, there is nothing valuable enough in this game to cost $100 or more. It just isn't. This just doesn't. The math just doesn't math. Look at what is actually happening. Now, this is Canadian funds, so US is $99.99. You can farm these. You can farm these. You can't really farm crystals. So it's really, you can farm the gold. So the only thing you're getting here is you're getting 30 stamina chests and 4,300. Now, those are easy. 150 is $1. That's a general guide. That's not a set in stone. That's just my guide, and I'll explain where I get that from. So, really this is worth $30 plus whatever these are worth. But they're going to say, hey, here's a whole bunch of these. It takes time to get these if you do it. But I'll tell you, not as much as you think, because to get the 6 million gold, you're going to get way more than 200 of the XP potions, even the legendary. Same with, the relic breath. Yeah, that's a lot of relic breath, but honestly, this is a cheat code for rich people. Let me tell you a story. I watched a video where a guy was talking about the Disney Treasure. Now, Disney Treasure is a new cruise ship that just launched over Christmas, had its inaugural sailing. Inaugural sailings usually cost 2 to 3 times what a normal sailing costs. They know that everyone wants to be the first ones on the ship, and they cash the F in. And he was talking about he had spent $12,000 for 2 of them, him and his girlfriend, for a 7-night sailing with a veranda. And that's just too much money. I mean, hey, but is it too much money? That's my point. He had a family of, I think it was 7 or 9, and they were overseas. They flew in, they stayed the night in Orlando, the 7-day treasure, they're staying a night on the way and then flying back. The total cost of their trip is $200,000. They're staying in a suite on the ship, probably multiple suites with 7 or 9 people. But the point being is, for them, that was nothing. If you can spend $200,000 on a week-long vacation with your family, buy this pack. Buy this pack, buy this pack, buy all the packs. What are you doing? For the rest of us, let's find value. And the easiest way to find value is ask yourself the question. First off, take this one. That's $100, right? 1,500 equals 10 a 10 pull. One of these, 10 pull, is worth about $10, which means 1,500 is worth about $10, which means 150 is worth about $1. That's how I figure. This is at an even plane. That's where we're at. So with this particular set here, what I'm actually paying for, I can farm this. It's zero value to me. I can farm this zero. It's nice that it gives me a little extra. But let me tell you, these are, there's 20 of them. 18 will be 3-star and useless for you. So What is actual value here? 80 of these, 4,300. Now 15, 30, 4,500. We'll at 4,500. That's worth $30. So it's like 20 some bucks, right? Plus that's over $100 right between these two, and this is 100 US. So on top of it, you get 3550 stamina, which is a fair amount. What is that? 1750 energy. Is that right? That's a good amount. That's some stamina's the only other currency that's worth purchasing. And I purchased a 10 of the full ones, so 5, so it would be 1,000 energy, and they're selling for $2.99. That was a special pack. I've never seen it before or since, but I was able to buy 5 of them and walk away. So to me, that's what stamina is worth. So you put the math in. If you're a spender, this is probably worth that if you want to buy summons and you want to have a good rate up package. All right, so I had sweat through my shirt. That's how sick we are today, but we're keeping going, and I promised you some summons, so we're going to do some summons for the end of this video. We're not going to touch these though. We're saving those, but I did pick up a pack. And we're gonna go to pity. We're gonna see what's we're gonna get Lego or bust here. Let's see what happens. As a little extra bonus, we got 2. What do we get? Yeah, hey, we need copies. So far we have 2 maxed out. Jarrett's maxed. Clarissa might be maxed, and for sure. K is max, so we don't want to see them. Rosier is not max. I will take all the Rosies I can because I like her and I want to use her and she's cool. All right, let's see. Maybe we'll get an early? No, not an early. No. Okay, well, one can dream. Yeah, nothing good so far. So yeah, there we go. So that was 45. So that's early. We like early. What is it? What's the legendary? Is it going to be a new one? That's the question. So we have a lot of legendaries, and we're happy with that. But we don't have the healer.
It is not just humans who repeat the same mistakes.
I already have her. She's situationally really good. Ain? I think it's my second Ain, so this will be a Chivalry 1 Ain. I was kind of hoping for the other one, but that's okay. We'll take it. Yeah. So there, and let that also be a lesson to you. If you're looking at this game going, well, I can just buy my way through shards. You don't need to buy. You don't need to buy. Every once in a while, treat yourself. Maybe if the rate up, if there's new champions coming out. But this just shows that the game's going to give you what the game's going to give you. I just wanted to go over to the codex here. And as you can see, there's my Ain right there already. She's kind of cool. She's got a cool kit. She's got some cool stuff about her. Would I have loved to, maybe pull Sergius so I don't have to save up for him? Sure. Gillian, that's the healer I was talking about. Could have used Merlin, Lancelot. But instead we get a Chivalry, and we can absolutely use it. So that's it. That's all. As I always say, make sure you're kind, be safe, and we'll see you in the next video.